Hey, everybody. I wanted to come and chat with you a bit about the idea about why we're not getting the results that we desire as fast as we want them. And time again, whether it's looking at my own business and analyzing that, or coming in and doing the consulting and analyzing that I do for other people's businesses, whether that's formally where I'm going in on a contract and doing those assessments and diagnostics, or it's just that I'm in community with business owners and fellow professionals who are trying to figure out why something isn't working the way they desire. And time again, the answer is that we're solving for the wrong problem. It's that we have, 5 or 6 steps back that we need to go and say, how did we get to where we're going? Before I get into that further, though, I don't want to forget, because I've been meaning to announce this for like a couple of weeks at least, actually longer than that. But I've decided to do something special to celebrate my birthday this year, which is support people on this topic. So on October 18th, which is about 4 weeks, maybe a little shy of at this point, because I'm a little late sharing this, I am going to be spending a full day teaching how I do my diagnostics. I will be doing diagnostics on people's businesses. I will be talking them through how I do all of my planning and organizing for my year so that I am able to optimize my time and get the results that I desire and be able to build my business to match my life, not that I'm building my life around my business. That was one of the biggest paradigm shifts that I had in the last few years, of really realizing that if I wanted to create the spaciousness and abundance that I desired in my business, that it was going to take building my life around my business, not or my business for my life, rather than building my life into my business. So on October 18th, I'm going to be doing a full day intensive. That is my birthday. So please come celebrate with me. I'm going to be getting like links and things out to sign up for that, but each seat is going to be $1,500. And you're going to walk away with clear understanding about how to analyze what's going on in your life and your business, how to integrate the planning and the problem solving, and being able to figure out what should you focus on next to create the results that you are desiring to create. So you're invited to that. Keep an eye out, because I'm going to be talking more about that in the weeks coming up to that. But back into what I was going to share today, which is getting into this topic of why are we not getting the results that we desire? And often it is that we, like I said, we are solving for the wrong problem, or we are solving with incomplete solutions. So often we are looking for simple solutions for complex problems, and it just doesn't work that way. I know we want things to be super simple, and I know that something that I've had to work on in my life is not overcomplicating things. However, in the pursuit of easy, sometimes we reach for too easy, and that's why we don't get what we desire. Sometimes we also just have a blind spot to what it is that we are trying to create. So, for example, a week and a half ago now, I was sitting in on a CEO roundtable where we were discussing the topic of hiring, recruiting, and retention for our businesses. And so often, it became somebody's turn. They were presenting their problem. The structure of the CEO roundtable was, you've got 2 minutes to share what's going on and have an ask of, what can I do to problem solve this, or what ideas and solutions might you have? So, and then we all go around and give some insights. Every single time, without fail, when it became my turn, I walked like at least 5 steps back and said, okay, I know you're asking about this and how to solve for this, but what happened in this instance, this instance, this instance? So for example, I should have been ready with an example. One of them, I think, was working on recruiting higher level talent. I think that was one of the things, and being able to retain that. And so and they were asking about what to do after the people are hired to be able to keep them. And I think there was also a piece of like, how do we stop wasting our time screening people who are not highly qualified? And I said, it goes all the way back to your marketing. Like, you have to approach your hiring process the same way you would attracting clients, right? What can you put out as a message about what value you are bringing and who would be ideally attracted to that? And so looking at writing your job descriptions like a marketing post, right? Now you want to have all the specific details, the nuts and bolts, so that people know what they're getting into, but also talking about this job is great for you if, and the things that are those culture fits, really thinking about how are we hiring for culture, not just skill set. That was another thing. And then also pay transparency, pay transparency, pay transparency. I know that people have a lot of fear or discomfort around that. But the problem is, what people don't realize is people are not applying to jobs anymore if there isn't pay listed. Okay. It's just the reality. There are other countries who are way ahead of us on this, who are progressive on this, who require it by law. There are states in the US now that are starting to require pay transparency, right? And realizing that you have to get honest with yourself and in your business and with your community about what you are able to afford and what you are able and willing to invest in your human resource, in your talent who's coming into your business. And realizing the more that you're able and willing to invest, the higher quality person you're going to be able to attract. Now, there has to be all the systems to screen and make sure that they really are a good fit. And then another piece of that is showing people that you value their time. And so now I'm getting into a whole teaching thing about hiring rather than solving for the wrong problem or an incomplete problem. But I'm using this as an example, so continue to go with me. So recognizing that we have a scarcity mindset of like, well, I want to make sure that I'm getting the right person in and I'm not wasting my time with people who are not going to stick around or who don't actually have the skills. Okay, cool. Let's build systems and process for our hiring so that we can screen for those things. That's why I don't like interview only, interview references. Talking about the job is not enough for me usually. I want to see how you are in action. And so I often will build opportunities for simulation or a working interview. But when I do that, years ago, I started the process of paying for those levels of interview. If I am interested enough in you, and you've gone through, a couple of rounds of screening and conversation, and I've decided that I'm still interested enough in you to hire you, possibly, your time and energy and effort is worth compensating. And so that is something that I realize might feel a little radical, but when you can budget into your hiring process rather than just paying, like that's the thing that people are like, well, paying to be on LinkedIn, paying to be on all of these other job sites, recruiting sites. Cool. Yeah. Budget for that, but also budget to invest in the people who you are screening. And you can set up criteria to protect yourself that you aren't, paying out interview stipends to people who didn't actually put the effort in. However, when you do that, that sets you apart rather, from everybody else, right? What else can you do to set yourself apart? So it's about building the whole ecosystem. It's not just about how do I get somebody in the door and how do I keep them. It's all of these pieces along the way of the relationship that we are building with our potential employees, our potential team members, and recognizing that when we are able to think about it as this whole complex system, that we are going to be able to hire and recruit and retain, hire, retain, you know what I mean, much more effectively and efficiently. And most importantly, just giving a damn, right? Like, so often we don't necessarily lead with our values in the interview process, or think that people just understand that we care and that we value them. But so often the world has not demonstrated that. So we have to be really, really clear and really on the nose and direct about us caring and investing in people and their whole selves, their whole careers, not just what are they going to do for the small amount of time or the medium amount of time that they work for us, right? So that's just one example of people coming to that CEO roundtable having all of these multitudes of problems of like, how do we recruit? How do we retain? And not being able to zoom out and see how all of these dominoes line up and affect one another, obviously, because they're dominoes, right? And also how when we are feeling a pain point here, it's probably 5, 10, 20 steps back that we need to take a look at and see how we land here. And then also not forgetting to look the 5, 10, 20 steps ahead here, right? To see how is this domino going to affect the next 15 or 20 dominoes. And that's another thing I work with my clients on, is not just making decisions that are good for the here and now, but how is this decision affecting where we're going? And the only way that we can evaluate that is if we've already determined where we're going, which is why planning is so important. So often I hear people, I don't need a plan, or I already have a plan. Cool. You still have to come back. It's dynamic. You need to be revisiting, and it's an action plan, right? So it is the action that we are putting in that is creating the results. And we are always going back and fine tuning that. What's working, what's not. Are we still headed where we want to go? Is that the destination we still desire? Is this the map, the roadmap that we want, the route, that's the word I was looking for, the route that we want to take to get there, right? And if you are not evaluating those things in regular intervals, you are going to get lost. You're not going to get where you want to go as fast as you desire. And so that is what I have to say about that today. Realizing that it does take some zooming out, looking at the whole picture, not solving for problems in silos or band-aid solutions. Now, once in a while, we need that band-aid. We just need something to happen in this moment, but don't leave that band-aid. Go, okay, we needed that band-aid for today because it was a problem we were not expecting. We don't want that band-aid to be the thing holding us together. How do we solve for that so it doesn't happen again? Right? So recognizing that sometimes good enough is good enough. And I have to be reminded of that. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, I think is the phrase, or something close to it. And reminding ourselves that we don't want to get caught in perfectionism, but we also don't want to take a step back one day and realize that everything is band-aided. We'll make that a verb, sure. And duct taped together. And now we have to have all of this repaired and built out properly. And that's part of what I do. I come in and help people put those proper systems and processes in place to take care of their people. Processes and systems are meant to support people. And a lot of times what's happening in businesses is because we don't have all of the complexity of that built out. It is the people, whether it's the business owner, I can tell you I've been there plenty, or the team members who are holding it all together because things are not properly built out. And then that's how you burn out and wear out and end up in overwhelm quicker. And that also creates the churn in your business. When you, both on the client side or customer side, if you don't have things built out, it's going to be harder to keep and maintain those clients and relationships. And on the team side, and honestly, frankly, with yourself, thinking through what is it that is keeping this turmoil, this overwhelm, this burnout going on in my own life. And again, it is often about the fact that we are not solving for the right problem, or we are not solving for the complexity of what's going on in our life and our business. So that is what I have to share with you today. I hope that was helpful. Again, on October 18th, which is my birthday, I'm going to be spending the whole day doing an intensive where we're going to talk about how do we healthfully get stuff done. We want to get more done. We want to be on the other side of our to-do list. We want to go from to-do to done, or our growth plan to growth done, right? Whatever it is, recognizing that there is a way to do that where we are not having to sacrifice our wellness, our team's wellness, anyone's wellness. Like we can be pursuing excellence and success and forward momentum and quick progress while also pursuing joy and ease and spaciousness. And let me tell you, I have not gotten it perfectly figured out. I am on my own journey. But what I can tell you is that when you bring somebody alongside to help you with that journey and help you learn how to map that out, it makes a world of difference. So that is why I'm inviting people to join me again on my birthday, full day intensive. I'll be getting information out. If you're seeing this and you are interested in this, just let me know. Just drop a comment that you're interested in the one day intensive in October 18th. You can just say intensive or something short like that. So I know to reach out to you because, like I said, I don't have the link ready to send out for people to sign up. But I'm looking for, hopefully, my goal is to have at least 12 businesses in that room that we can be working on creating what that amazing success for 2024 is. I really want to set you up, springboard you into 2024, and really make that the best year yet. That was cheesy, but honest too. I'm a little cheesy. So drop that in the comments. That way I know to circle back and get you the information. It's $1,500 for the day, and I promise that it is going to revolutionize your business for next year, and I will be sharing more about that later. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and take a moment to pause, zoom out, see what else is connected to what you are trying to create, and see where are my blind spots and how can I be holistically approaching solutions. That is how we are able to get more done with less energy, less time, more efficiently, and with more joy and ease. So that is all, friends, and I will see you all later. Bye.